Listen, when I first looked at Goon Wars TCG, I was very skeptical, okay? I'm not gonna lie. When I first looked it up, I pulled up the homepage. We're loading right now. Once we're done loading, you'll see why I was skeptical. I just saw this, and to be honest, I thought it looked like a bad NFT project. I was like, there's no way. But I was dead wrong, because it turns out this game is amazing. This game is so much fun. And the thing about it is that it's really unintuitive. It's such an interesting card game. The idea of a card game without an energy system, at first I thought it was kind of a gimmick, but it's so cool. It's such a different kind of strategy. It feels like learning card games for the first time again in the best way. And so, because of that, you might be having a hard time figuring out your first few decks. I mean, come on. You try building a little of this, you try building a little bit of that. You get farmed by Lucille, you get farmed by Jack, you get farmed by me. You play 3 or 4 games, you lose them all, you give up, you never play the game again, you go back to Gods Unchained, you spend $500 on the new set, it goes down to $100 in value, you're losing everything. Okay, pause. I got the answer. Got 2 different decks put together for y'all. I got all the info right here. The link to this doc is in the description, and there's another doc I'll link as well that has more deck lists. I'd highly encourage you guys to join the Discord, which I'll add a link in the description as well, where I've got a bunch of resources. Basically, I've got 2 lists. One of these is my list, and one of these is Winty's list. Winty is one of my friends on the internet who also plays TCGs. And between these 2 lists, you should find something that gets you started. Now, here's the thing. Without an energy system, it's really unintuitive. So if you try to build decks without someone else's help, you're probably going to get screwed. It's not going to work. And the thing is, that's true in a lot of card games, but if you're experienced and you usually know how to build your own decks, you might be surprised at how much you have to relearn for this game, because it is just a fundamentally different strategy without a traditional energy system. So, in terms of budget, my deck is half free cards, 9 commons, 5 rares, and 1 epic. Winty's deck is even cheaper, 20 free cards, 8 commons, and 2 rares. If you're going to try to be completely, fully free to play, I don't think you should play card games. Straight up. So in my opinion, I'm just going to put that out there. If you're going to tell me, Flux, I don't want to buy a single card, I'd say, okay, go play Call of Duty. Go play something where you don't have to spend money. You know, I don't know. Go play a single-player game. But with that said, these are affordable decks. This is a really affordable one. This one's also pretty affordable. You can always sub out the 1 epic card. It's not like that essential. And so let's get into some strategy. This is how the deck works. So let's go to my deck first. This is Winty's deck. Let me talk about a few of the key cards here, focusing on the ones that are especially affordable. So let's look at our big, powerful cards that are kind of our win conditions. Because the goal with this deck, to give you an idea, is to develop card advantage early, burst out a bunch of strong creatures around turn 4 to 6, and hit them in the face and win before they can properly defend and before they can pull off their win condition. So our big, strong cards, this one is essential. And yeah, all the art is memes. If you're new to this game, you know, you'd be surprised. If you're watching this, you probably already play, but yeah. All the art is very sus. Welcome to Goon Wars. This is a big one. 5 attack, 3 health, but the big thing is the effect. When this awakens after 3 turns, it deals 10 damage, randomly split among all enemies. This is a very powerful way to burst out 10 damage, and if their board is empty, all that damage goes to face. If their board isn't empty, it just wipes out a bunch of creatures, which puts them in a difficult position of, like, what do they even play into the Mebthar when they know it's coming. Another really big one is Evil Nicholas, a common that's very strong. Warcry gain +1/+1 for each empty tile in play. So if you happen to have an open board later in the game, turn 4, turn 5, even like turn 7, you play this and it can be a easy 7/7, 8/8, 10/10. I mean, the maximum is 13/13. Really strong. You play this first, and then you could also copy it potentially with the Dripping Dolly to get a double nick, because you're going to use this a lot. Warcry, choose a creature and become a copy of it. So all the big stuff, this will then want to copy. That's how you're going to burst. You want to ideally play like at least 3 big creatures on the same board all at once. Like One big creature, not really enough to threaten. Two big creatures, getting there. Once you have three big boys on the board, you're really starting to put a threat of doing lethal damage within a few turns. What else is big? This is a really big one. Intoxicated Beast. Whenever you play a creature, lose 5 health. So you play this last, and it's just a big 7/7 that's immediately on the board. This one's also good. It can attack the enemy's face. It's an 8/8. It's also MIA for 2 turns, so you play it and it doesn't like wake up until 2 turns later. But it's still great for defending the board, keeping your other creatures alive, and possibly even more importantly, if you censor this card, which means silence it, turn off the effect, turn off the text, then it is able to attack the enemy's face. So if you use a card called Karen Wrath, somewhere in here, censor a creature, you often will use this on the opponent's creatures to like take away a buff or something, get rid of a insult creature, like a frontline creature. But if you use it on Beersaurus, the turn after you know, once it's awake and it's ready to attack, if you silence it, if you censor it, then it can go face. That's a great way to finish them and get lethal damage when they think they are safe. And then anything else really big? Those are the big ones. So Intoxicated Beast, Beersaurus, Mevthar, and Evil Nicholas. Those are your big ones. There's also Terroramba. This is an epic. Most of you won't have this card. It is really strong, but you don't have to buy it for this deck. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but like you could literally run. There's an electric card called Geriatric Current, for example. This would be a fine substitute. 6/2. This actually is better in the early game than Terroramba. There's also, what is it called? Like Slippery Eel. This one has some really sus art. Eel Tamer. Yeah, this one's messed up. So either of these is a fine substitute for Terroramba. Just big attack stuff, basically. I actually wonder if I should add those. I might even want to add one or both of those. I could even honestly consider adding those in and taking out something else. I'm not going to change anything right now, but that actually got me thinking. So those are perfectly valid. You really don't need to go out of your way. Don't buy this if you're just starting your collection. Go buy all the commons, the good rares. You know, you don't need to go right to the epics, because you just don't need to. In any card game, trust me, I've learned this the hard way. You're better off building cheaper lists and focusing on skill, and then buying stuff as you go. You don't want to dump all your money into the what seems like the good stuff on day one. You're going to fall into noob traps, waste your money, get frustrated, and or you're not going to have room to grow because card acquisition is the most fun part of a card game. So build your collection slowly, look for good deals, don't rush into the most expensive cards. Trust me, like you do not need Terroramba for this. Okay, the other big thing about this list, those are the big win condition cards. And I'm trying to go really into detail here because I know that there's not a lot of strategy content for Goon Wars yet, so a lot of people are kind of at the base level trying to figure out how to even start thinking. So we're definitely taking our time. In the future, I'll probably, you know, not need to go over like basic card. Like eventually we're all going to know, obviously this is a good card, but I'm introducing a lot of these cards because a lot of you guys, a lot of y'all, this is the first time you'll be considering it. So also, by the way, mention this Fireball, another way to finish them off. Along with the big creatures on the board, you want this in hand for that last damage to face. Just a little thing I forgot to mention. But one other thing let's talk about is the secrets, or the mysteries, rather. So if you played Hearthstone, there's a card type in Hearthstone called secrets. There's the same thing in Goon Wars, but it's called mysteries. And it's the same kind of thing. You play it, it's face down. It gets activated when something happens. And so we're running 3 mysteries, and then we're running a card to draw the mysteries. So we have Deep Freeze, which prevents fatal damage. We have Hollow Maidens, which is widely considered to be a really good card, and it is a free card, thankfully. After a friendly creature dies during your opponent's turn, add a copy of it to your hand and shuffle a second copy into your deck. Then we also have Sneak Attack. This art gets me. Like, this is the one that makes my eyebrows go up. I'm just like, what the fuck? But besides that, when your avatar is attacked, which is your face, when they hit face, shuffle the attacking creature into its owner's deck, and it doesn't do damage. When they attack face, it doesn't actually attack. It gets shuffled right away. This one's pretty good. But the key, the real reason we're running those is to enable Sly's Mystery, to draw 2 of those cards out of our deck, which doesn't only give us 2 cards for 1. We play this and we get 2 cards after only playing 1. It also thins the deck. and gets the mysteries out of the deck, which then makes it easier to draw cards like Beersaurus or Intoxicated Beast. I'd also mention there is a random card called, what is it called? I have to look by type. I forget the name. Like, what's it called? Hold on. The 1/1. As soon as I see it, this one, Inoculated Invertebrate. Warcry, draw a random creature from your deck with 5 or more attack. This is another one that I probably should add, so I might make a few adjustments. You can always look at the main deck list doc to see an updated list. I'm getting ideas as I talk about this. Getting back to what I was saying, this idea of thinning out the deck so we can get to our win conditions faster. This gets 2 mysteries out of the deck, and then you're more likely to draw creatures. Another card draw type of thing is Shank Snack. And this one's huge. Draw a random fire card from your deck to your hand. If it's a creature card, draw an additional copy. And so we can use this to get 2 copies of either Beersaurus or ideally Intoxicated Beast. There is one trade-off here. If you get Fireball with Shank Snack, you won't get a second copy. It only makes a second copy if it's a creature. We could not run Fireball to guarantee the additional copy, but we want to make sure we have enough fire cards that this isn't the last fire card we draw. If we draw this as the last fire card in the deck, it just does nothing. We want to have at least, I've got 3 other fire cards to make it unlikely we'll draw Shank Snack first. That's actually the same reason we're running 3 mysteries instead of only running 2. So if I draw one of them before Sly's mystery, it still gets 2. Like, lots of little considerations, but I feel like I'm kind of getting into the weeds. A few other cards to mention. This is a free card. Everyone has it, and it's the strongest draw card in the game because it can draw multiple times across multiple turns, ongoing effect, as well as immediate turn 1 impact. So this is a great one. We're definitely running this. This card is another one. Pull a spell out of the deck, thinning out the deck again, getting all the other stuff out of the way to get to our big creatures. This card has amazing value. I'm getting into the weeds. I want to get to the gameplay, so I won't explain, but trust me, this is amazing. We can do a video just talking about Mysterious Memer at some point in the near future. And, oh, we have one more fire creature as well, Blowback Pacho. So this is another one you can get from Shank Snack. And this is good if you get 2 of them, because the Warcry. Nice. Classy Mink is great draw. There's a lot of really good stuff. Berserker, by the way, is a bit of an expensive rare. You could sub this out with one of those 2, like the electric cards I showed you, the 6/2 or the 5/3. This is a great card. This is actually a broken card. It's overpowered in my opinion, but you don't need it in this deck. It's like not as essential. I kind of tossed it in just because I got it recently and I wanted to try it. I might take Berserker out of the list, honestly. I actually might take it out, so you really don't need that one either. Okay. I could keep rambling. I could spend like an hour just going through each card one by one, explaining what's good. And some of y'all would probably enjoy that. But let's not. Let's get right into a game. And let me try to show y'all the deck in action. I'll cut to when I get a match. Looks like the queue's empty right now. So give me a minute and we'll find somebody. I'll be right back. Oh, nice. We got one right away. I was going to ask someone to queue up, but we got a match. All right, let's go. So I'm going to keep all my draws and also cyberbullying, which is just like really overpowered right now. This is going to get nerfed. So I'll keep my draw, and then this is a discard. Cyberbullying. So this dude's in the top 10. He's not easy. We're going second. I think the audio is off from when I was streaming. Let's see if we can get a little sound in the background. Go, looking good. And let's see what we can do here. They play Gerwolf's Child. Add 2 random creatures to your hand when it dies. So right away, we want to make sure we get some cyberbullying value if we can. They're down to 3. We want to be thoughtful here. I don't know if we're going to get a double discard off of cyberbullying. Anyway, let's start with some draws. So let's draw the mysteries. And then I want to play these potentially, but let's first see what I get. This is going to draw me a spell. Golden Shower kills Octocaster. It doesn't get the Battle Cry or War Cry because it got killed by a secret, so that's something to be aware of. In that case, we can do this, though. So I'm going to play both my secrets. I'm going to play the Berserker. Wait, I don't want to trigger their last breath. Wait, I'm actually... Does this... I don't know if this interacts with them. Will this give them the creatures or me? It gives them the creatures! I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Well, now we can use cyberbullying to discard 2 of them. I wasn't sure if it would give me the creatures or them, so I just learned something. Anyway, that's one hell of a first turn. Let's see what happens next. Burning Dryads. That's what? Barrier? Okay. That's interesting. You don't see this too often. We don't have too much to do here. I'm inclined to go face and pass. We could use this to shuffle the Berserker away and draw something else. One big thing in Goon Wars, you need to get used to passing more often. You don't need to tempo out creatures that much. All right, so the sneak attack shuffled away their Burning Dryad. Got one of our big creatures now, the Intoxicated Beast. And there's the Mevthar we talked about, so we know this is going to do 3 damage. I'm sorry, 10 damage to us when it wakes up in 3 turns. That's pretty far away, though. What I'm inclined to do is keep it ultra simple. I'll put my creatures not next to each other, because there are some cards that can, like, affect adjacent units. It's a small positioning thing. And they have no answer on the board, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass. In a spot like this, I just kind of want to keep attacking face, and I want to wait until they show me something that's going to get in my way. So this one does 2 to 4 damage. They were hoping it would kill my Berserker, but it didn't. Hollow Maidens activates when they kill the beast. We get an extra copy in hand and in the deck. That's really, really good, since I mentioned when I was breaking down the deck, we're trying to optimize for these big stat lines. So bloating kills my Berserker, that's fine. Now I got my Gerwolf's Child. They have 5 damage on the board. Mevthar's still waking up. I could play Gerwolf and immediately use Tomb Scorer to shuffle it back in the deck and get something else. That is an option. I just got to make sure I play the Intoxicated Beast last. I'm saving this as a defensive option. I think we do want to play Intoxicated Beast. I'm also not really worried. The tiles have the different types and stuff. In this deck, that's not really a big deal. In other decks, the types of the tiles are extremely relevant. Not as much in this deck. Very common Magma Dom strategy. Whenever a friendly fire creature dies, shuffle it into your deck and draw a card. In my experience, this isn't as strong as it looks. It looks insane when it works. It's harder to get value from this than it appears. That's all I would say. I wouldn't rush out and buy Magma Dom. I've heard some new players be like, this game is broken, I'll never be able to beat Magma Dom. And the truth is, I don't even think Magma Dom is like that huge of a deal. So I would encourage you to not buy Magma Dom, like, out of FOMO or whatever, you know? We're in kind of a tough spot. I think I don't know. We can wait till Mevthar wakes up, or we can play Evil Nicholas first. If I play it now, it becomes a 5/5, which, if it survives, will be enough to kill a Deforester. I think we'll go ahead and play Evil Nicholas right now. Get the 5/5. I took 5 damage from Intoxicated Beast as well. Okay, we're happy that it killed the Gerwolf's Child, and we're very happy the Intoxicated Beast stayed alive there. I get these 2 from the Voltage dude, which is kind of funny because these are both in my deck as well. They Shank Snack and get an extra copy of something. They got a double Beersaurus, so 2 8/8s that won't be able to attack face, and they are just trying to win by getting lethal as fast as they can. Shocking, shocking strategy. We're in a tough spot, fellas. Is there any way out? This would deal 3 damage if you control a mystery card, but we don't control a mystery card. I think we're dead here. We can defend a bit. This is basically just stalling because I don't think we have a way to... Here. I'll have to try again. Unless there's a chance. We'll see. We got one more turn. Is there any chance of a comeback? This gets to be a 10-10, which is pretty nice. But we can't kill the Mevthar, so we're dead next turn. They have lethal. So GG. Let's try again. Second time's a charm. Again, we're going to look for all the draws. But not Tomb Scorer. We don't want Tomb Scorer in the opening hand. Any other draws? I'm sending back everything here. Going second again. They're rummaging. That's exactly what I'm saying, right? They're optimizing for as much draw as they can get. They've also got their Gerwolf's Child waiting to get in my way. We'll play Voltage Junkie for the initial draw. And then it's a question of, do we want to play the Beast right away or do we want to wait? I think in this case, I'm just going to be aggressive. We can also play the Hollow Maidens, and we're okay with getting either one of these back from the Maidens. So Voltage Junkie draws me a card at the end of my turn. Does 2 damage to my face. Super, super worth it. Desperate Todd rummages for an Earth creature. These Earth decks can be nasty, by the way. If you find yourself struggling against Earth, not just you, Earth decks can be really tough. But they don't attack. We can use the Orange Beard. We have a mystery now, so it'll get to deal 3 damage. We can kill their creature. I'm going to take 5 damage from the Beast, but that's going to be super worth it to maintain control of the board. Because then we get to do 8 damage to their face. We could even play this as well. We could hold it back. I mean, if we hold it back, it might get discarded by a cyberbullying. I think I'm going to hold it back for now. Okay, that's pretty cool. Dripping Dolly. We're playing pretty aggressive, using our own life as a resource to try to take them down faster. Hoping it works. Thorlock's Beard, not a huge deal. I told you guys the memer was strong. I don't know, though. We're in a good position here. They don't seem to have an answer unless they're about to play something. They don't seem to have a great answer for the Beast. That's going to kill our draw guy for sure. No, they killed Gerwolf's Child. Okay. They used that. I thought they were going to kill my draw. I'm a little bit scared of this secret. I'm not going to lie. Okay, they got Gerwolf's Child back in their hand using Return of the Dead. And then they draw more. So lots and lots of draw, but good stuff on the board. There's some of these that can mess up my board pretty bad. I think the best we can do is probably attack with the 1-2 first. Might ensnare my Beast, though. Should I attack with the 7-7? It depends if it's sneak attack or not. Okay, nothing happened. Alright. So now there's a good chance of, Golden Shower or Hollow Maidens. I want to try to play Dripping Dolly, but it could super duper backfire. What if I use Liquidated here? We're trying to find lethal. I'm also watching my timer. Is it Hollow Maidens? No, it still hasn't activated, so I don't know. Maybe it's Deep Freeze. It might be the one that prevents lethal. I'm going to go ahead and copy my 7-7. And it's not Golden Shower. Yeah, so we have no idea what's going on there. Still don't really want to play Sneak Attack, do I? I don't know. I'm out of time. I'm going to play it. All right. Close match. The problem is if that's Deep Freeze, that just buys them the 1 turn they might need. I don't know what else it could be at this point. It could be something called Caught by Coal. So we're just waiting to see if they can answer the board or defend in some kind of meaningful way. The Berserker, Gerwolf's Child combo, pretty strong. So it must be... It's gotta be, Deep Freeze. Yeah, so they don't take lethal yet. And that means I need to defend. But we are threatening, you know, if I defend the board, I have lethal in hand, so that's good. I can kill their 7/7. That activates Hollow Maidens. Okay. But, I mean, Gerwolf's Child would have to get really lucky to get lethal. I think we definitely need to be all in, even playing Evil Nick for 3/3. Oh, wait, I forgot. I was going to take damage. Oh, my God. That might have cost me the game if they have Fireball. It's so easy to forget about the beast damage when you're, like, thinking about other stuff. I just took 5 damage from playing a creature. I'm 2 off of lethal if they go face. Is that going to cost me? JK, we have Deep Freeze. If they do, we'll prevent damage. We're fine. Actually, yeah, they need to heal or play another Deep Freeze. So we're probably good. Right, for a second, I got worried. I forgot. I've really blundered this when I'm streaming and I'm like distracted talking to chat. I've blundered this beast before. When you do it, just know you're not alone. Worst case would be if they play another mysterious memer that they got from Gerwolf's Child into a second Deep Freeze. That would be like the absolute terror scenario. The scenario of maximum panic. Otherwise, 28 seconds till we win. Their time's running out. The fishing ents should be fine. I think we got him. I think we got him. Yeah, what I'll probably do for this video is I'll just leave both matches. 1 loss, 1 win. I think that's going to be a good example. Usually you just kind of give one example of a winning match and call it a day in a video like this. But since that just happened to work out, I can upload this like no edits, and you can see that it's exactly the kind of thing you're going to experience. So Fireball, take them down, and they're done. So like, it's a good deck, but you're not going to win every single game. You just saw I lost a game, then I won a game, right? That's actually kind of nice. Like, just a perfect example of how you're not going to win 100% just because you set up the deck. It's a card game. You're aiming to win 60 to 70% of your games. Generally, like if you're winning anywhere close to 70%, you're crushing. You know, I mean, Lucille is a maniac. They have a 79% win rate, which is actually mind-blowing. Pretty much everyone else, though, 57%, 64%, 64, 67, 40, 50, 60, 46. I have a 55% win rate. So your goal is to win more than 50%. You know what I'm saying? With that said, we're not going to do a featured match at the second list. But you're welcome to try out Winty's deck as well. That's in the doc. And maybe we'll try looking at this a little closer in a future video. But either way, 2 4-color lists to get you started. Goon Wars TCG, it's a little bit unintuitive. The strategy is so different. But I promise you, trust me, if you're looking for something that's going to be intriguing, that's going to make you start to have fun brewing some decks, something a little different from the usual energy curve, aggro type stuff, you're going to love Goon Wars. So I hope this video helped. Thanks for watching. Flux signing out.